Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Meoni of the Clismcast, and today we're going to be looking at Retribution, the brand new EVE Online expansion. EVE Online has always been a game that I've looked at and never really touched. The reason being it was overcomplicated to my eyes, and I was used to games like World of Warcraft. However, with this new expansion I thought, why not dust off the old account and give it a try, see what's changed for new players and old players alike. So without further ado, let's have a look at the patch notes and what exactly has changed in the world of EVE Online. Aside from the various bug fixes listed here, we also have a lot of ship balancing issues that have finally been addressed based on community feedback. Along with these fixes, we also have a lot of additions to EVE Retribution that make the game a lot more user-friendly, at least in the user interface. We're going to be looking at some of those now, along with some of the other more interesting additions. Well, let's have a look at the new ship additions, since that's usually the meat and potatoes of a patch, especially with EVE Online. There are 4 new destroyers being added in Retribution. Firstly, we have the Dragoon, the Corax, the Algos, and the Talwar. Each one has their own specific role, and as such has their own role bonuses and various layouts. At the time of recording, which is the 13th of December 2012, the ships that are mentioned here are roughly going for around 1.9 to 2.2 billion ISK. Understandable for new ships, but I'm sure they will go down with time. There is a new ore mining frigate added, the Venture. This has a 100% roll bonus to mining and gas cloud harvesting amount, along with a 5% mining yield increase and a 5% reduction in gas cloud harvesting cycle duration per level. The various statistics will be on screen now as I look at the Venture. The new mining frigate blueprint can be obtained in the outer ring through the ore faction stations, along with this ship being rewarded from the industrial career path's conclusion. And at the time of recording, you're looking at 11 billion around that mark for the blueprint, and around 600,000 for the actual ship. And now it's that complicated time to talk about flagging and PvP. This introduces some new flags to the whole PvP scene, with the whole Crime Watch 2 idea. A core concept of Crime Watch 2, I'm quoting here, is flags. We aim to decouple actions from consequences via a flagging system. For each character we track a number of flag types. Performing certain actions will cause yourself, and possibly others, to pick up one or more types of flag. Having a flag will cause consequences for you and others around you. Flags are always per character. There is no character-to-character flagging anymore. We want to make sure that you know your own flag statuses at all times. The following image shows a character with all 3 flags. From left to right, PvP flag, suspect flag, weapons flag. Each flag has their own associated timer shown by the clock around it, with some lasting longer than others. For example, activating a turret module against a player will give you a PvP flag. As long as you have one or more relevant modules active, the timer will be held at the start and the countdown will not commence. Once the last module has been deactivated, the timer will begin counting down. Restarting the module will obviously move and hold the timer back at the start. Other actions are instantaneous one-shot events, such as stealing from a container or getting hit by a smart bomb. On such an event, the related flag will be triggered and immediately begin counting down. Triggering the event again will restart the countdown, and so on. Right. So now that bulk of information is out of the way, let's talk about something interesting. The new micro jump drive battleship module has been added to the game. This has both a skill for micro jump drive operation, which can be found at the market here, quite expensive. It has a spool of time of up to 12 seconds, jumps 100 kilometers in a direction, and has a cooldown of 3 minutes. And the restrictions are obviously a battleship only, affected by warp scramblers, and increases the base sig radius. The blueprint copies drop from hacking sites and pirate commander/officers loot. So I'd love to show you what this does in person, but I'm nowhere near the level requirement of skill or at the monetary requirements in that position in the game to be able to show you that. But essentially this will jump you 100 kilometers in a straight line in front of you. It's good for evasive tactics in battle, and that's about it really. I could sit here all day and talk about the patch notes and all of the various changes and updates, but you can do that, right? So let's get down to business. Is this game any better than it was before? Okay, so first we're going to look at some of the user interface changes. A lot of them have been really helpful. For example, when you launch a drone to mine, for example, you send a drone out, you target a rock, you've locked onto this rock, but you want to know, is that drone actually targeting the right thing? If you highlight over the drone or the rock, you can see where that drone is actually going because it draws a line to it with a big circular reticle. Simple things like this have made the UI a lot more usable in terms of usability whilst you're actually doing things, but I still think the menu system and all of this is still very intimidating to a new player. If they think that they're going to address a lot of new players into this game, bring them in and get them to actually pay for a subscription longer than the trial basis of 30 days, then I still think they're largely mistaken, and I still think this is a game that is very niche. If you are afraid of big numbers, calculations, sitting around waiting for skills to happen in real time, this really isn't a game for you. But if you are willing to stick it out for the long haul and you do want an engrossing large server, a singular server bear in mind if you've never played EVE before, full of anywhere from 38,000 to 45,000 up to 50,000 players at any one time at peak times, you know, every corner you turn, every jump gate you jump through could be a different story, a different adventure. If you like a fast-paced adventure game, then there are plenty of other variations of the MMO genre that you can pick out. But for a slow-paced but rather exciting and enthralling experience, I would definitely recommend EVE Online Retribution. The changes are definitely affecting a lot of the older players, so new players, you know, it will be years maybe before you will even touch one of the bigger ships that I've mentioned in this. And I didn't really want to do a review, but I wanted to do like what's actually changed. But now I think about it, there's a lot of stuff I can't access that maybe you can. If you're an old player of EVE, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you've probably read the patch notes. But for new players, I would definitely recommend, you know, trying the trial out. If you are intimidated, the likelihood is you're not going to be playing this for very long. But hopefully this has been of some interest anyway. That really roughens up all of the additions, you know, sort of summarizes everything. There are a lot of changes to over 40 ships in the game to balance them and add various things. There are new graphical effects. They added new explosion sounds. They've added atmospheric sound effects, which are interesting beyond belief for an audio production student like myself. There's a lot of really cool stuff been added, but there's no real changes to make the game more appealing to new players other than basic UI changes, but the menu system is still atrocious. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. We do weekly videos on various videos from a wide variety of genres with a wide variety of directors taking part. So yeah, feel free to do that. Thank you very much for watching my video, and I'll see you next time.